The second key component of the way in which Congress is sort of organized and the impact that it has on lawmaking is sort of like the congressional leadership as a whole. So both houses of Congress have like a leadership structure. We're going to look at the House of Representatives first. So these are your key representatives in the United States House of Representatives. The majority party elects from within itself the Speaker of the House, who, because Democrats have an advantage now in the House, they've selected Democrat Nancy Pelosi to be the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Someone that obviously is a focal point that you see a lot on the news and is really the leader of the House of Representatives and the leader of obviously the Democrats in the House of Representatives. So obviously high up in the order of presidential succession, but also important because Pelosi is largely responsible for committee assignments in the House of Reps for the Democrats. So she's assigning all Democratic reps to their individual committees. And clearly, you can use these assignments as a way to ensure loyalty from your party members. So, again, for a Democrat that's going to be very loyal to the party and vote the way that Pelosi and the leadership wants them to vote, maybe a better committee assignment than someone that goes rogue more often than not. The Democrats also select a majority leader whose name is Steny Hoyer. The majority leader isn't all that influential because the true leader of the majority party is the Speaker of the House. And then there is a majority, what we refer to as whip, who is Jim Clyburn. The job of the whip is to essentially ensure party loyalty. That would be the person, not Pelosi, that would essentially be going from member to member, trying to persuade them to vote a certain way. There's also obviously a minority party leadership structure as well. The minority leader of the House of Representatives is currently Kevin McCarthy, and he'd be responsible for appointing all Republicans to the various committees. And the minority whip is Steve Scalise. In the Senate, there's also a leadership structure. The true president of the Senate is Vice President Mike Pence. Obviously, though, the Vice President of the Senate, or the President of the Senate, the Vice President of the United States, isn't there on a regular basis. He would only be there in the case of a tie-breaking vote. So you need to have somebody that is going to run the Senate on a day-to-day basis since the VP is not really there. And that person is Charles Grassley. The president pro temp of the Senate, which is what Grassley is a largely ceremonial position. It goes to the longest serving member of the majority party. And it's more of a ceremonial position, but obviously is high up in the order of presidential succession. There is a majority leader in the United States Senate, and that currently today is Mitch McConnell. He's a Republican. He's responsible for assigning all Republicans to their committee assignments. He's sort of obviously outspoken individual. There is a majority whip, does the same thing that the whip would do in the House of Representatives we discussed. There is a minority leader that is from the minority party in the Senate. His name is Chuck Schumer. He's from New York. He's responsible for all committee assignments, often an outspoken critic of the president since they're from opposite parties. And there is a minority whip. So the bottom line is the sort of leadership structure is important in committee assignments and ensuring loyalty amongst party members.